Today we're going to talk about how to do one of the most famous knockouts that Grandmaster Rick Moneymaker has been performing for well over 20 years. If you go back in the history of pressure points, you'll see that the first person to really hit the seminar circuit and teach pressure point knockouts was Grandmaster Rick Moneymaker, my instructor. And we've been doing this for so many years, traveling the world, teaching in countries all over the world. And because of this, there are a lot of people out there who have tried to duplicate what we're doing, but they're not getting the same results we're getting because they don't understand the martial science to the level that we teach it. So this knockout here is a strike to the gallbladder 3 region with the left hand and a strike to gallbladder 20 from behind. This is a motion where you see the crossing of hands in martial arts kata or forms. And so when we're applying these techniques, it's very important to understand how those little movements affect the knockout. Now, from a safety perspective, make sure that you're not knocking someone out over the age of 40 years old. The reason is because these strikes disrupt the energy system of the body. Someone with a little bit more age on them may have more plaque building up in the arteries and such, and striking these points can actually release the plaque and cause a stroke. So today we're picking on someone younger. So when you're practicing your techniques, make sure you've got someone young that you can work with and apply the techniques. And keep in mind, knockouts are inherently dangerous. Anytime you're disrupting the body enough to cause it to go unconscious, we are taking some risk of affecting someone's health. So from here, we're going to put the right foot forward because I'm striking with the right hand back here. We're going to line the feet to the core of the body. The right hand is going to strike in the gallbladder 20 point. The left hand is going to strike on the gallbladder 3 region. We've got someone set up to catch, and then we'll do energy restoration at the end of the technique. So the technique looks about like this. One of the things that people typically miss is the activation of the gallbladder 3 point. Gallbladder 3 is the origin point of the gallbladder. It's also the intersection point for the triple burner and for the stomach meridians. It's also one of the 36 vital points listed in the Bubishi as points that can cause death when being struck. Now this point lies upon the zygomatic branch of the facial nerve. It's also the zygomatic orbital artery and vein. So when we strike this point, it's basically over the temple. Now when you hit this, from right here, we're looking in the temple region. The palm of the hand will cup. We're bringing the energy to the pericardium 8 point, Lao Gong, in the hand. The hand is in a cup position when it hits into the area, but it flattens on impact. The flattening of the hand sends energy out of the pericardium 8 point and into the gallbladder 3 point. Another thing that people typically miss with this is the action of the fingers. The activation angle for this point is 15 degrees. Basically, when I hit this, I'm coming in at a 15-degree angle. The 15-degree angle is based upon the skin here, so the angle's coming in almost straight in as you're hitting the point, just slightly above straight, 15-degree angle. When you hit, the fingers are going to brush across the gallbladder 6, 7, 8, that whole region where the gallbladder zigzags up here at the top of the head. All of this sends energy back through the head, back toward the core to the brain. So when you're hitting this, cup the hand, let it hit, let it rotate to get the flexion of the hand, brushing the fingers along the gallbladder meridian, sending energy into the core of the brain. So just this part of the movement, the hand cups, you hit and brush over in that type of motion as you hit it. The hand is placed over the gallbladder 3 region. The other hand is striking in at the gallbladder 20 point. Gallbladder 20 is known as Feng Qi in Chinese. The angle of activation is 45 degrees. And that's based on the contour of the skin here coming in 45 degrees essentially toward the brain itself. The angle of activation is essentially toward the left hand, which is on the points on the temple. So as I'm striking this, I have to remember that the purpose of the extraordinary vessels in the first place is to restore energy when there's an energy disruption, just like what I'm doing with this left hand. I'm disrupting the energy of the gallbladder meridian, and as such, the right hand is impairing the body's natural ability to restore natural energy flow through the gallbladder meridian because of its connection as the yang linking vessel and the yang motility vessel connections that are associated with this point. So as I'm striking this, I'm impairing that function. I'm also bringing this in at the 45-degree angle. The hand is flexed back using the part of my hand here at the wrist, which is rigid and solid, and it's hitting in and up. It will make a curling type fashion as it comes across. So the impact will come in here and bump this way. Now there are some other things. I want you to watch the clip again and see if you miss some other things as well. Another thing, did you notice the vibration of the hand on the impact on the gallbladder 20 point? So many people have tried to duplicate this technique by just going in a blunt force trauma type strike to the head. Now because of the impact in the region of the brain stem, they will get a reaction, but it takes a lot of power, a lot of pressure for them to affect a knockout because it's all brute force. What we're activating is sciences. We're using the martial science to affect the knockout so we can use lower pressure levels to do the same thing. So when the hand came in, it wasn't just a straight impact like this. The hand is going to vibrate as it hits. The left hand vibrates also, so both hands are vibrating as they're coming in. So the impact is a quick pop, both hands vibrating as they hit. So watch it again and look for that. Now that you've seen it again, I want you to also notice that the strikes are yin-yang type strikes. What I mean by that is one strike is coming back toward the body, which is more of a yin type strike. The other strike is going forward, which is more of a yang type strike. So we're applying the science of yin and yang to the technique as well. So the left hand is affecting the yang type of attack. The right hand is affecting the yin type of strike back here. Notice the flexion of the fingers also. Energy flows best through the body when it's not encumbered, it's not restricted in some way. When people tense the hand up and try to tense the fingers and keep everything together and flex it back hard, they're restricting the energy flow moving through their own body. You cannot simply do energy transfer from a tensed up position like that. So when I hit him, my fingers are relaxed. That's part of the vibration. That's part of the yin and yang motion. That's part of the two-way motion that I'm applying. So when I hit, I want to get that quick pop and I want to get this little vibration to hit here at the same time. You need to relax when you're doing the strike. Too many people tense when they try to do it. Something else I want you to notice. Just like my instructor, Grandmaster Rick Moneymaker, I cheat. And if you've been around him very long, that's one of the first things that you learn about him is that he cheats. And what we mean by that is we hide things in the movement, not so much because we're trying to keep someone from learning it. It's not that. There's just so much information behind the techniques and the principles that work that it's hard to teach it all at the same time. Usually you're just trying to focus on the main points of the technique. But anytime you're doing something, you are to cheat. You are to do everything you can to make it work better. Now this is entirely gallbladder meridian. So we have gallbladder 3, gallbladder 6, 7, 8, all of that. We've got gallbladder 20. We're affecting all those at the same time. But I'm going to cheat. The way I'm going to cheat is my forearm is going to come across and catch the corner of the jaw here at stomach 6. By overlaying in this region, I'm also getting this activation of the wood and the earth for the five-element theory, so that I'm applying wood penetrates earth behind the technique. So as I hit here, my arm is going to touch and short the stomach meridian to the gallbladder meridian. Now, because I don't like to fail and because I like to cheat, my hand will cheat again by coming through and connecting with the bladder meridian and also the governing vessel as the hand hits here and flexes back toward him. So even though the impact is here originally, the hand's going to whiplash at the end of the movement just to make sure that I bring more elements to the technique, that I short circuit the extraordinary vessel further so that we don't get that feeding of energy from the governing vessel to the gallbladder, and we get a better knockout. Again, you got to watch closely. There's a lot of things that work, and our competition out there have been busy replicating what we've been doing in the DSI for 20 plus years, but they're not getting all the same little secrets and all the little things, the nuances that they didn't know about. Now that you got to see some of my cheats, I cheat again. So when my hand hits up here on the temple, my thumb is actually going to come through and connect on the bladder meridian at the bladder 2 point, so that I bring the water into the technique as well. Which, as I said on the gallbladder 20, I'm also cheating by getting black on bladder 10 also. So as I hit here, my thumb is going to come up and brush across the eyebrow here and connect with the bladder meridian also. So when this hand is busy hitting here, I get that cup feeling, or that cup position. I hit, the hand is going to brush across, and the thumb will brush across the bladder meridian all at the same time.